Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing good and having a wonderful day. In this video, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is how you can look for some sensitive files onto a server while doing bug bounty or penetration testing. And specifically, we are trying to look for the backup files. Many times you are encountering with an application that seems to be like a static application where all the data has been saved, right? But you still don't know that how you can fetch those data, because even if you're trying to like access the application, you're getting 403, or you simply don't know what is the exact name of the file of the backup, right? So we're going to see that how we can somehow able to generate all those possibilities of the backup files for a specific target, so that the chances of finding backup files or sensitive files will be comparatively larger than just using traditional word list. Okay, but as always, before going to this video, if you haven't checked out my previous video, then go ahead and check it out. The link of the video is given in the description, as well as you can see it at the right side of the screen. And now, with that being said, let us get started. Now, before we dive very much deep into this video, let us try to understand that what exactly we are doing in order to get the specific backup files or the sensitive files. Okay, so many times you see when we have an application, let's say I have deployed an application on a domain, let's say bepractical.tech. Okay, and now I need to store the backup files. So generally what normal developers do is, instead of using names like backup.zip, or let's say backup-test.zip, or something like that, they usually use the domain name or something related with that, so that they will be able to identify, okay, this is the backup file of this domain. For example, it can be like bpractical-backup.zip, or maybe bpractical_backup.zip, and something like that. Okay, so we're going to use a tool that is going to generate all the list of these possible words that might be getting used saving these backup files. Okay, and if we're able to find one, then we'll have a high severity, or at least critical to high severity vulnerability, right? So this is exactly what we are looking for. We are going to have a bunch of targets. We want tool to generate some list of words through permutation and combination, so that it will be very specific for that particular target. If you have ever used tools like AllDNS or tools like GoTater, you'll be able to understand what exactly I'm saying, right? So this is exactly what we're going to do in this video. And now let us go ahead and see through a practical demonstration of how we can utilize this particular behavior to get sensitive files. So this is a tool that we're going to use for finding specific backup files, which is known as backup gen. The link of this particular tool is also given in the description. Okay, so you can clearly see what it do is, let me just show you. So let's say we have a bunch of URLs that we want to find backup files on. Then we will have an extension file where we'll be saving all the possible extension of backup files, like .back, .zip, and .tar, .gz, something like that. Okay, and then finally we'll have a backup word list. And using all of this thing, the application is going to generate a bunch of words specific for our target. You can see like dev app anything, dev app anything .me.xyz. So for example, let's say the target is bpractical.tech, so it will be something like bpractical.app bpractical.zip, something like that. It will be very much specific to with our target, which is what we are actually looking for, right? And this is how we need to actually use this particular tool as well. We need to have 3 files. The first file should contain the URLs, the second file should contain extension, and the third one should contain the backup word list. Now if we take a closer look here, we already have these 2 tools present inside this repo, right? So what we can simply do is we can just copy this like here, Ctrl+C, go to your Kali Linux machine. Let me just quickly hop into my Kali Linux, and here we are. Let me just create a folder, and let me go inside this folder, and let's clone this repo. Git clone backup gen. Here we have the file clone. Let's go to backup gen now. Let me clear it out. And what we're going to do is simply let's go ahead and run python3 gen.py, hit enter. Okay, and now it says that it's going to look for the URL file as well as the extension file, right? So this is basically how we need to actually install this tool into our machine. Now once we have this tool installed, let's try to go ahead and see a practical demonstration on our target and see if it can find the backup file or not. Now assume that this is the application where you want to look for some backup files. As you can see, the subdomain itself says backups.bpractical.tech, right? Now another thing to note is that even in real world application, you'll see many subdomains similar to this. For example, maybe cdn.target.com, logs.target.com, or maybe, storage.target.com and something like that, right? So, you just need to apply whatever we are doing here to the real world scenario, and hopefully it will help you to get more interesting vulnerabilities. Now, with that being aside, what we need to do is, once we have the target where we want to look for backup files, simply you can copy it, okay? And then we need to open the backup generator. So we can go to like B, where we have cloned the backup generator file. Here we are. Now what we need to do is we need to create a url.txt file where we're going to simply paste the URL like this: https backups.bpractical.tech. Save this like this, and then simply what we need to do is we need to type python3 gen.py. Okay, we need to specify the URL file as well as the extension file. So let's just quickly go ahead and like apply all of these things: gen.py, url.text, extension.py. Okay, and let me just remove all this, and we can simply hit enter now. Okay, the moment we hit enter, you can take a closer look here, right? It has generated all the possible combination of possible backup files that might be present over here, right? These are all the word lists that we can use. So what I'm going to do now is, once we have all the word lists generated, we can simply save it to, let's say, a new word list.txt. Okay, and here we have it, new word list.txt. We have all the words, and if we count it, it will be somewhere around, let's see, 705 words, right? Now once we have the word list generated, the last thing that we need to do is simply we need to run this with any content discovery tool, right? So we can simply go ahead and clear this out, and we can just type ff -u, and then we can simply go ahead and paste the URL from here. Let's copy this, paste it right over here first, and then I'm going to use the new word list that I have created and -ac. Okay, let's hit enter. Let's wait for a few seconds. Let's see whether it's going to give us any valid findings or not, right? And meanwhile, if you're also interested in diving deep into an application to find as many vulnerabilities as possible, then I have created a very interesting course on Udemy, which is known as the Art of Web Reconnaissance. Okay, where you can learn about everything through a practical demonstration: how you can dive deep into a target, how to do subdomain enumeration like a professional bug bounty hunter, and at the end of the course I have a live demonstration of how, by just using reconnaissance, we can find high to critical level vulnerabilities. So if you're interested, then go ahead and check it out. The link of the course is also given in the description. And now you can see clearly over here that we have got one data, right? We have found one data, which is bpractical-tech.zip. Now if you could have using any other word list or any other traditional word list, you wouldn't have been able to find this particular word. Why? Because it is specifically related with our target, right? Simply just copy this from here. Okay, and let's just paste it into our browser and see whether we are able to get something out of it or not. Hit enter, and you can see the backup file is getting downloaded. Let's open this in a new tab, and let me just check it out. And you see we have successfully got the backup file, which was saved onto this particular application, right? So this is how you can use this particular tool to get specific word list related for your target that can be useful to find the backup files, right? I hope you have learned something new. I hope you all have learned something interesting. And once again, thank you so much for your support, guys, because of you all, we have now reached over 30,000 subscribers. So once again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, if you have any doubts, if you have any issues, just feel free to let me know your doubts or issues in the comment section. Also, do join our Telegram channel if you want to stay updated with the latest trends and technologies going under cybersecurity, bug bounty, and ethical hacking. And the last thing is that don't forget to check out this course if you are actually interested in how to dive deep into reconnaissance. And now, with all of that being said, keep learning, keep hacking, and thank you so much for watching this video.